How's it going, everybody? My name is Lim, and today I'm going to try and give you beginner streamers out there a few tips to help get you on your way in the early days of your streaming life. For people unfamiliar with how streaming works and the intricacies of it, Twitch can seem like quite a daunting place. There's a lot of streamers out there, all with the same goal as you, so, all of the help you can get, the better, So, I am by no means a professional streamer. I've been doing this for about 18 months, and I've put a lot of work into what I've done, and I have made my fair share of mistakes along the way. So I want to give you a few tips that might help you get on the right track from the start so you don't end up making the kind of mistakes I did. And as always, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and maybe consider subscribing. Also, if you're a streamer, what tips would you give to help newcomers get the best possible start in their careers? Let me know in the comments. So my first tip really is be in streaming for the correct reasons. You'll stop by a lot of beginner streamers' Twitch pages and you'll have a look and you'll see that they've got like a bunch of donation links. They'll have things like subscriptions, things like GameWisp and Patreon and all that kind of thing. And you can tell right from the start, like these guys who haven't got many follows or anything like that, they're in it for the money. And that is not why you should be streaming. There's a lot of people out there who are trying to become professional streamers. There's a lot of people. And the sad reality of it is there's only so many viewers to go around and not everyone can be successful. It takes a lot of hard work, patience, dedication, to some extent quite a lot of talent, because you have to be able to kind of read your audience and, know how to... It's not so much knowing how to be successful, but having that mindset of always trying to improve yourself and provide a better product for your audience. And not everybody has that, and it's just a reality of it that not everybody can succeed. So you need to be in this for the fun of it. That's the point I want to get across, is you need to be doing this for the fun of it. The point when you start streaming is you should want to hang out with friends, make new friends, build a community network and meet streamers and all that kind of thing, and just have fun. Because if you're not having fun, you want to do this as a job, right? That's if that is your end goal, that you want to do this for a job, you want to be having fun along the way, because then if you don't get to that end goal of being successful, at least you haven't wasted your time because you've had fun doing it, right? So that is my first tip, is don't be in it just for the money. Have fun. Just have fun. And going along those lines of networking and building a community and meeting things, if you want to provide a really good product right from the start, go and watch a few big streamers that you enjoy watching. Not necessarily, streamers with thousands of viewers, but even, smaller scale than that. Just go into their streams and get a pen and paper and just scribble down what it is you actually like about their streams. Like, try and make some notes, like, do you like the way they have an intro? Do you like the way they communicate with their audience? Do you like, say, the way they react to certain things that happens in the games they're playing? What is it about their streams you like? Because actually being able to pinpoint those things can give you pointers on how to improve your own product. So I think that's something that's super helpful early on, is to, just make notes. Gather as much information as you can. Get online, get on places like Reddit, Lift Gaming, CGN. Get on all of these like community forums and places where streamers gather, and just, get as much information as you can, because there's such a wealth of information out there for streamers to help you on your way to improve you as a streamer. And I think that knowing as much as you can is never a bad thing, because just even getting on the subreddit for Twitch, there's say you're like, I want a webcam, but I don't know which one to go for. Type in webcam on the subreddit for Twitch, and there'll be like 100 or more. There'll be like 100 or more discussions on which one to go for. So just get out there, get searching for information, because there's no end to it. The next thing I would recommend for you to do is to get yourself a bot right from the start. It might seem like early on, if you haven't got many viewers or even no viewers, that it is irrelevant and pointless to have a bot, but it's not. You need one right from the start, because there's people who will come into small streams, like the bottom of the list for various games, and they'll prey on those because they expect those to not have bots. Twitch has got a lot better in the way they deal with like spam accounts and people who view bot and all that kind of thing now. But having a bot right from the start is nothing but beneficial. So I'd get online, have a little look at what ones are available. There's quite a few to choose from. I'll put a few links in the description for the video for you. There's like a Nightbot, which is one I started right off with at the beginning of my streaming career, but I moved on to Unkbot. That's another really good option. All of these are free. There's MooBot out there, there's DeepBot out there, there's a lot of custom IRC bots out there. Loads and loads and loads to choose from. And I think just because you're just starting out, don't feel like you don't need one, because there's loads of really cool things you can do with it. You can have things like, in my instance, I use Unkbot. There's things like there's a quote system, so if you say something funny or something cool happens in a stream and people want to make a quote of it, they can do that. You can have sound effects, which you can upload. You can have like a song request system. You can have, there's loads and loads and loads of things, custom commands, all that kind of stuff, all on there. And I think if you start off with having all this cool stuff, it shows people that you've put the work in, you've put in the research. You're not just, turning up to your PlayStation, hit the start stream button, done. You've put some thought into it, you put some effort in, and you care about the product you're providing to people. And I think that mindset, rubs off on your viewers. That mindset that you want to do you want to put on a good stream, and, you can always improve. You can always be doing new things. You can always be getting better at what you do. And I think that mindset is really important to have for success. So yeah, right from the start, get yourself a bot. But what I will say is don't worry too much, especially when you're looking at some of your favourite streamers and you look and they've got these setups which are multiple thousands of pounds and whatever. Because streaming is quite an expensive hobby. Even in your most basic, cheapest options are you pick up a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One and you just hit the start stream thing because they've both got integrated options for streaming, and you go. Even then, if you gotta buy a console, it's still not particularly cheap. Let alone having to have a decent PC that can handle streaming, because that's quite a CPU intensive thing, streaming. So even like going through free options like having OBS and such, it's not a cheap pastime. So right from the start, don't worry about having expensive gear, because you can always save up and get better gear down the line. But I will say, make the best of what you have. Just because you can't afford the best microphone ever doesn't mean you have to settle for having a poor quality stream. Because no matter what setup you've got, you can always optimize it to have a better quality. As something I see with a lot of small streamers, they just chuck a microphone in front of their face and go. And you have really horrible background noise, and the quality's not very good and stuff. And it's not something that you have to have expensive gear to fix. It's just you have to put the effort in to make the best of what you do have. And again, for things like, say, you have a load of background noise, you go online, there'll be loads of tutorials for acoustic solutions and stuff to how you can sort of dampen the sound of your room and stuff, so that you're not getting so much sort of horrible hissing noises in the background and stuff. It's loads of resources out there. So just, again, it's that mindset of always putting out a better product. You can do a good stream with whatever you have, as long as you put the work in to get the best out of what you have. Okay, so my last 2 points I kind of want to get across here are kind of interlinked, but they are keep talking and ignore your numbers. They're both kind of interlinked with each other, So the thing is, when you're streaming to an empty room, when you first start off, you might think, oh, there's nobody here, so why should I bother talking, right? Nobody's watching, what does it matter? But the thing is, the way Twitch's numbers update, it's every, I think it's about every 30 seconds or so. It's not instant, is the point. So there's a good chance that you'll be sitting there, stone-faced, not saying anything, and there's someone who sort of stopped by your stream, and they're like, oh, this guy isn't talking, he's not having fun, why should I be here? And they'll leave. And they might turn up and leave before Twitch can even, refresh to let you know there was someone there in the first place. So keep talking. Act as if you're streaming in front of 1,000 people, whatever. But just keep talking, keep putting on a show as if there's people there, even if you think there isn't. So it's so important. So just, talk about what you're doing in the game. Do a run and commentary, talk about, if you just died in Call of Duty, Why did you just die? Is it because that guy was a dick? Fine, say that. But just keep talking. And it's a skill. It's something that's quite hard to do to start with. As before I started streaming, I was quite introverted, and it's something that streaming is one of the things I wanted to do this for that reason, is to kind of be able to express myself a little bit better. And this is definitely, it's definitely helped me, but it's a skill. It's something you have to develop over time. It doesn't come naturally to some people to just keep talking and talking and talking. And you'll get there, is what I want to say. Is you might feel like, oh, I don't know what to say. Just anything. Talk about what how your day's been, what you've been up to. Talk about what you want to do in 20 years' time. Talk about your favourite sport. Talk about absolutely anything. It doesn't matter. Just talking. Because say you're rambling on about what happened at the football at the weekend, and someone stops by your stream and they're into football, they might just suddenly turn up and say, oh yeah, I know that result was shocking or something, and boom, you've got an interaction with a viewer and you're away. I know I've rambled on the point a bit, but just keep talking. And to go on that point of the numbers side of it, it's so hard. Everyone suffers from it. I do as well. You have good days, you have bad days, but it's hypocritical of me to say it, because I get caught up in it as well sometimes. But do your best to ignore the numbers. I know I'm being hypocritical in saying it, because it bothers me sometimes if I have a bad day, because your first instinct, if you have a really good stream, right, you have a bunch of people come in, more than you usually have, you get some follows, and you maybe get some hosts and whatever, and it goes well, you think, oh, this is awesome. And then if the next day that doesn't happen again, you think, like, well, what did I do wrong? Why haven't people come back? Is it something I've done? Don't feel like that. You have to realise that you're not paying people to be there, and don't do that. Don't pay people to be in your streams. But people, the guy who just stopped by and said hello, how you doing, and hung out and dropped a follow, that might have been his day off from work. And the next day when you stream, it turns out, oh, they're working, so they can't come hang out. Some days will go well, some days won't go so well. You don't take it personally. People have their own lives, their own things going on, so don't take it personally, because it's just a part of things. All you can do is keep improving, go back over your VODs and things like that. Just keep improving your product. And if you just keep doing all of the right things, then, it'll take care of it. The numbers will take care of themselves. So just don't worry about them. So I've rambled on quite a lot in this video, but there's one last point I'd like to make before I wrap up with this, is about mods. So this is something like I could do an entire video on how to pick good mods. And there's no set rule for it, but be really careful who you choose to mod for your channel, because it's something, mods are the front-facing element of your channel. When people stop by your stream, if a mod is really nice and gives you a really warm welcome and everything like that, you feel more inclined to stay. And that's something that's super important for your stream, is you want people to feel like they're welcome, and you want people to come and hang out with you, don't you? That's what you want. So I've had the problem myself when I started off, where I thought, oh, I'll just mod my friend in real life. He can come he can do me a favour. Didn't come along very often, and most of the time I was left without a mod. So that didn't work out. And you'll have situations where someone will stop by your stream and say, oh, I'm a really good mod for other people. I'll mod for you. You don't know them, but they'll stop by and say they'll be a mod for you. Don't do it. Just don't do it, because I've run into personal experience with this, and so I'll tell you exactly what happened. I had a guy stop by. He stopped by 2 or 3 times, but he said he mods for other people. This was very, very early on in my streaming career. He stopped by and he's, oh, I'll mod for you. I'll help you out on that. I was, yeah, all right. I do need a mod. I'll do it. Sure. Modded him. He started banning people as they came into the stream. For no reason, just started banning people. That was the thing that happened. And then it turned out when people did come in, he also, dropped links for his own stream. It's a thing that happened as well. So Be careful who you pick for mods. A good tip is to go for regulars. People who stop by your stream a lot, you start to know. Hopefully you get to know them on a personal level as opposed to just, someone you say you talk to on Discord or, anything like that. Someone you start to actually get to know. And ideally, it's hard because some people may not have ever modded for you. And that doesn't necessarily mean there'd be bad mods. But I think people who have modded before have a general idea of what it is you want from them. So I think picking mods who have already modded elsewhere is a good way to go, especially for your first mod. And it also helps because you can go and then if they're modding for somebody else as well as your channel, you can go and check out how they mod for them and see if their style of modding fits your channel, your personality, what you want out of streaming. So just be super careful you don't mod just anybody because they have a lot of control over your channel once you give them that sword. So just be careful. And just finally on that point, just because you've modded someone, don't feel like if things aren't working out, you can't unmod someone because it will do more damage in the long run if you let a bad mod stay modding it, for the fear of hurting their feelings than, if you just let them keep going with it. You're better off having the conversation with them to let them know that things aren't going so well. And hopefully you can fix it and you won't have to go through nastiness because unmodding someone isn't fun. So that whole process of giving someone responsibility in your channel and then having to take away isn't nice. So do your best to get it right the first time so you don't lead to that eventuality. Okay, so there are just a few tips I've got for you for starting off as a streamer. I've got loads more stuff I could talk about, and I'm going to do other videos on it, I think. But thank you, everybody, for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you are a streamer yourself and you've had any experiences early on with streaming that you'd like to share, let me know in the comments. Let me know how your experiences with Twitch have gone to date. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good day, and I will see you all next time.